invaded, the Dutch only had one Renault FT, a couple of tankettes, 39 armoured cars. They're using guns from 1895. They did have a couple of Vickers and Lewis guns though, to be fair. Their artillery was fairly out of date. They just weren't good enough. The Dutch did construct defensive lines, and they built over 2,000 pillboxes, but they had no depth. So if the pillbox got overrun and that line got overrun, there's no depth for the defenders to fall back on, and this was a big issue. And on top of that, there's no cooperation with the Belgians over defensive lines as well. And the Belgians tried to basically talk to the Dutch and get an agreement, but the Dutch basically wouldn't agree, and nothing could go any further. And on top of that, the Dutch refused to join the Allies on the 10th of April when war looked very likely for the Dutch. And this was a bit stupid in my opinion, absolutely ridiculous. The army did try and negotiate with the French army behind closed doors, but nothing really materialised over all disagreements. On the 10th of May 1940, the Germans invaded the Netherlands, and the Dutch troops didn't put much of a fight. They were quickly pushed back, but this was a big issue because the French 7th Army had moved in to go into the Netherlands to support the troops. But because I was so shocked with the disorganisation of the Dutch army pushing back so quickly, the French were disorganised and couldn't put a proper fight up against the Germans. But this begs the issue, if basically the Dutch had held a bit longer, could the French stalled a German advance or delayed a German advance? And this is important because it's going to change the whole outfit of the fall of France, because it might have diverted German troops away from other parts of the front where the French could have beat the Germans in a battle or just delayed them further and further. And this is interesting. But on top of that, the Dutch, when the Dutch surrendered, they still had a large amount of their troops intact.